Hi, I'm Mikola with part one of my look at the vice presidential debate. The other day, Dan Brown reminded us what John Nance Garner said about the vice presidency. Not worth a bucket of warm piss, which might explain why Paul Ryan kept drinking water all night. He was just charging up so that he could fill that bucket and prove he was qualified for the office. As it turns out, the debate was worth a great deal more than Garner's bucket of piss, especially to Democrats. In the Constitution, the vice president has only two jobs. One, to preside over the Senate without a vote, except when needed as a tiebreaker. And two, to just hang out and chill in case the president gets dead or incapacitated or resigns in disgrace, in which case the vice president gets a sudden promotion. It's kind of like a backup file, but by no means a true copy of the original. So it pays to pay attention to vice presidential debates. Could this person be president? And if so, what kind of president? It's about the only chance we'll ever get to look at that. Remember, the major parties pick their presidential nominees through a long series of debates and primary elections. We get to know a lot about them. But the vice president, he just sort of pop in at the last minute. We ask the presidential nominee, who are you going to call? John McCain called Sarah Palin. Mitt Romney called Paul Ryan. So what did we learn about Paul Ryan in this debate? We learned he's a polite, earnest, intense young man, quite fit. A guy who can remember his zingers, who follows coaching about addressing closing remarks direct to camera. And we learned that he can retain composure under pressure. But we also learned he only pretends to be a serious policy wonk. He couldn't or wouldn't give us the numbers to back up Romney's tax plan. Nobody seriously believes those plans actually add up. We learned that he wants to impose his own religious beliefs over a woman's right to choose, and Ryan's beliefs are even more severe than Romney's. We learned that Ryan thinks 30% of the country are just takers. We learned that even though he claims to be worried about deficits, he repeatedly voted to squander the Clinton budget surplus by cutting taxes twice, putting 2 wars on the credit card, and passing a prescription drug benefit with no way to pay for it. But most alarming, we learned he has reckless, ideologically driven views on foreign policy, and a very shallow comprehension of the topic. He's more slogan than policy. In the debate, he followed his coaching and repeatedly used words like weak, weakness, apology, disarray to describe Obama's foreign policy. But when he was pressed on how Romney would be different, it got a little confusing, except for the warmongering part that flickered in and out of view. He attacked the president on the planned Afghanistan withdrawal in 2014. But then he said he agreed with it, but he disagreed that we should announce it. Although how you could manage it and coordinate with our allies without announcing it was a little beyond him. This post in The Atlantic details how misguided and dangerous Ryan's foreign policy answers were. Worth reading. I'll link to it. Biden clearly made the winning case. He was sharp, informed, and spoke from broad and deep experience and authority. Ryan lied, bluffed, and kept the details of Romney's plan well hidden. Most people saw it as a Biden win. But if you're on Ryan's side, that's not the story you want to hear. So you work at making the story about Biden being mean and disrespectful. You make the conversation about Joe Biden's smiling, laughing, throwing up his hands. Well, I don't really object to that. I celebrate the laughing. And in part 2, I'll tell you why. I'm continuing into part 2, and part 2 is already online. Shocking, it's already up. So click anywhere you want to get to part 2, unless you're on mobile or television, in which case you'll have to hope YouTube makes it easy to find it. Until next time, which is only a click away, I'm Mikola. Still here? Go on, click for part 2 already. Or if you want, go back and see what I said about the first Obama-Romney debate. Good Lord, Mikola's doing an end screen. Please don't tell Tom Milson. He gets so upset with these things. Next video, previous video. How long do I have to stay here? Because I got more videos to make. You stay. I'm leaving.